I'm so glad you made it here tonight. This is super exciting. This is Meg and I'm your facilitator, and we have right now about 52 people online. So wonderful. Thank you to everybody who is joining us and um, making the time for yourself to be here. Be sure to set your chat to panelists and attendees. If you get stuck on direct chatting with someone, then all of your future chats will just go to that one person. So you can change it if you want to send a message directly to someone that you know or whatever, but just be sure you go back to panelists and attendees if you want to make sure that your messages are seen. I see a little light in my eyes. I'm going to lean up and close my boyfriend's computer because I think it's shining that light. So hold on. You know, we got to adjust on the fly around here. So we just do our best. So I really appreciated hearing everybody introducing themselves in the chat. We have so many people coming from so many places across the country, which is just heartwarming and exciting. And so also want to say, of course, on the West Coast, it's only 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun is shining bright outside of my window, and it's about, I don't know, maybe 75 or 80 degrees. So it's a beautiful day. So I'm just really thankful to have the opportunity to spend the afternoon with all of you, and appreciate those of you who are making this time for yourselves. And I think on the East Coast, you're probably looking at, that's not quite at sunset yet, but pretty soon, right? So let me see what my, there we go. So this is, of course, a Sonder Social. It's a little bit different than a Sonder Circle, and there are a couple of different formats that we've been trying out. And so if you've attended other events, this one might be different from the other ones that you've attended. And what's really awesome is that Silk and Sonder has made an opportunity to kind of iterate and design these events around your feedback and around what seems to be working best for our community. And gosh, I mean, it's such a wonderful, loving and supportive community of people that like to go to different types of things. And so some events are really awesome for some people and other ones are better for others. So we just love to have your feedback. At the end, you'll have an opportunity to scan the barcode, and then you'll also get an email, I think, with a link. So please take the time to share your feedback, because the ongoing design around this event is really in response to feedback. So I'm watching the chat a little bit. I saw somebody say audio was going in and out a little bit. I'm sorry for that. I don't think it's coming from my end. So I will watch to see if there's additional feedback about the audio. But right now, I think, yeah, I see a couple of comments saying it seems okay. So I hope it improves for you. So here's our agenda for the evening. We're going to do a favorite activity, which is Rosebud Thorn. If you haven't done that before, you'll enjoy it. I think it's really usually one of the favorites. We're going to go through the currently page in our journals. And then I've changed the order of the next couple of items, but they're still the same items. So we're going to do a journal prompt in the July journal, and we're going to do another activity around courage. And then we will do the weekly planner setup after that. So I've changed the order a little bit because I really felt like, as I was preparing for this event, that it would make more sense to have these activities sort of build on each other and culminate in a weekly spread that you can really design mindfully and intentionally, using the theme of courage as your setup, as your starting point. So that's how I've designed the event, and I hope that it flows for you and that it is sort of additive as it goes. And love to see your feedback too as we move through the session. And then we'll have a little bit of time to do some kind of just tips and tricks, and I'll talk through some of the examples that I've shared if you want more information. And also throughout the event, I hope that you will chat away. I do watch the chat as best I can. I can't always respond, but my partner in crime here is Katie. You'll see her online as Catherine Gideon, and she's lively in the chat as well. And so if you have any trouble, or if you have questions that she could answer for you while we're going through this live, she's watching the chat for that and helping to resolve any issues that she can behind the scenes, and just being an awesome support person. So she is called our stage manager tonight, which is just, I mean, a blessing, because I kind of panic, a lot when I get a little nervous, but I'm getting better at it. So thanks for your patience, and I hope that you enjoy the evening. Don't forget to enter our raffle. They're choosing a winner, I think every month, but I'm not sure, from all the attendees who submit their photos during or after the event with the hashtag Sonder Social. So share that online on Sonder Club. And if you're an Instagram user, definitely tag Silk and Sonder at Silk and Sonder and share in the app, iOS or Android, which is now launched. So definitely share those, because the self-care raffle gift is pretty awesome. So you'll want to have a chance to win that. So let's jump in and talk about courage a little bit. You know, I've been a member of Silk and Sonder and a subscriber for about 9 months now. And some months the journal arrives and the theme is like just a natural, an easy one for me. Something like, you know, I loved creativity and I loved play a couple of months ago. One other one I got didn't speak to me as much. That was endearment, I think. I just didn't fill everything out. It sort of just landed sort of flat for me. But then other ones, like I said, I've just jumped right in. But courage, oh my gosh, I did not anticipate the way that this particular month's theme would impact me. And I have already made some really key life decisions just in the last 5 days because of the monthly theme of courage. And it really caused me to, going through my journal and really even preparing for tonight by doing the activities myself, caused me to have an experience, you know, of like an aha, and really finding myself having the opportunity to exercise courage. So one of the quotes that I found, let me just see if I can put my finger on it. You know, I was supposed to have this right here handy, but I'll find it before we're done, and I'll read it to you. But it was it has to do with showing yourself. Like here it is. It's on the bottom of page 33. It takes a lot of courage to show your dreams to someone else. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to be really authentic in my preparation, and I'm going to do these exercises for myself so that I can really share them with others and help facilitate their experience too. So thanks for joining me and letting me do that with you. And it is a courageous act on my part a little bit, because it's, you know, I'll give you a peek into my world. So I've included a lot of pictures from my own journals to help facilitate the conversation, especially in the weekly journal section. So you'll see what I mean, and I hope you enjoy it. Awesome, Alicia. I saw your note. I understand. Sometimes courage and bravery feel easier. Easy is not the right word, but it seems like you just know it's the right thing to do and you can do it. And other times it's hard. It's really hard, and you have to dig deep, and I don't always do it. So let's start with Rosebud Thorn. So what I'd like you to do is open up your journals to a blank page. If you don't want to use this blank page in your journal for this exercise, you certainly don't have to, but lots of people enjoy doing it this way. So any place that you'd like to, I'd like you to write down rose, bud, and thorn. And just to define those for you, so we're kind of on the same page about what we mean by rose, bud, and thorn. A rose is a success or a win. A bud is a new or emerging opportunity, and a thorn is a challenge or a struggle. And don't get too hung up on the words. Let them work for you. It doesn't matter if you are doing it the same, if you're defining these words the same as other people. What matters is that you gain some insight from it. So I'm going to put on a little music for you, just some thinking music, hopefully not too distracting, and give you an opportunity to write and think, and then share in the chat when you're ready. And let's see what comes up. And I'll go on mute and give you a chance to enjoy the tunes. I'll be back with you in just a few. Hi again. I see quite a few people have shared, but not a lot. So I'm wondering if you need a little more time. Um, I don't want to hurry this along because this is one of our usually a really important step in the evening. It's like a little bit of a mindfulness coming down. So maybe put in your chat if you want a couple more minutes. Then you don't have to share, but it sure would be nice to know because I don't want to cut anybody off if this is important. Okay, thanks, Denise. Really appreciate that. Okay, great, great. A couple folks want a little more time. Wonderful. So I'll play another song and enjoy. Oh, I love it. I'm reading a lot of really great stuff online. Thank you so much for sharing so openly. I mean, we have the benefit of both of being a part of a community of people that kind of speak the same language, and as well as we have a little bit of anonymity and safety in this venue. So there's something interestingly, unique about that way of connecting with each other. Here are some of the things I read and saw. It was moving pretty quickly. So if you missed a lot of them, you're not alone in that. There's a lot of stuff there. You can scroll back through while I'm chatting, and just kind of scroll back and read as well. I saw Pamela say her rose was that she was opening up more. And that's really big, that's really making yourself vulnerable. I know a number of you also saw Kara mention that her mom died, and I'm so sorry. What a hard and difficult thing to go through. I lost my mom at a pretty young age, and so I'm very, very empathetic and sympathetic to what that feels like. Regardless of the type of relationship that you have with your mom, there's just something about having your parent die that changes who you are. So I'm feeling for you. Rolaki, I don't know if I'm saying it right, said her rose was exercising more. And I saw that show up a number of times, both as a rose, a bud, and a thorn for lots of people. So that was really really funny to see and interesting, but I totally can relate to feeling better about it when I'm doing it. Hey, I saw Luann said her thorn was that she's cocooning too much. You know, I don't know. It's pretty hard to break out. I've cocooned a ton this whole during COVID and just the last couple of years, and it does kind of become a habit, you know, and it becomes a thing that is about comfort and safety, I think, for me. And but yet my world gets a little too small at times, so I have to fight that desire or that urge to cocoon all the time. And then I just saw a bunch more themes, a lot of stuff around stress and anxiety, both all roses, buds, and thorns, people talking about new strategies that are working and other folks talking about things that are challenging for them. So I like this exercise, rose, bud, thorn, and we often just call it RBT. And so it's one that you can do anytime. You can do it at the end of a day. You can do it at the end of a party. How did that party go? You know, you could do it at the end of a week, of a month, of anything like that. Maybe at the end of a family gathering that you were looking forward to or not looking forward to. How can you reframe and use something like this as a model or a structure to help you really recognize those opportunities where there might be a rose, a bud, or a thorn, and you might have only thought there was one. So thanks for participating. That's wonderful. And Eden, I see your note, your thorn is lack of discipline, and mine is exactly the same. That's exactly it for me. So I really relate to that. The next thing we're going to do is our currently page. And this is one of those pages that I find folks, you know, really want to either they look forward to it, kind of a mid-month experience, or they, so I've heard some people say that they wait and they won't let themselves do it until they naturally turn to that page in their journal, like don't work ahead. And then there's, you know, there's just a lot of different ways to look at it. And some people, I think, just look at it as being kind of not really important, right? It's just like, well, whatever, these are just things that are happening in my life. And I was kind of one of those when I was, when I first started with the journals. I didn't always fill it out. I just thought it was sort of silly or something. I didn't really understand it as being a mindfulness activity, but I use it religiously now, and I find it to definitely be a mindful activity. And so I'm going to do it along with you, because one of the things I want to encourage you to do is to look at this as maybe not just once a month, but to use it at any time. And I'm showing you mine here because I've done it, and I'm going to show this to you on the next screen where you can see mine, but you can do it again at any time. There's more than one line next to each one of these. And then also on the adjacent notes page, I went ahead and just sort of decorated mine like this. I just put some contrasting washi tape around the borders so that at some point during the month, I could do it and maybe write some notes about these prompts that might have to do with courage, right? Like I might really try to take that theme and apply it to this activity in a different way, or using a different lens at another point in the month, if that makes sense. So if that helps you to kind of think of it as maybe something you could do more than once, and you could do it now and again later in the month if you want to, then you might find you can get more out of the journal, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put some music on. We'll probably have about one song to do this. I don't expect you to fill out all of the lines. Just do what speaks to you. Maybe use that courage of theme as you do it, or choose the ones that are speaking to you in particular. So that's where we are. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back with you momentarily. I love that song. So, I noted in the chat, I know not all of you are following the chat, so I'll just tell you that I sent a little note over that when Katie and I were preparing for tonight, she pointed out to me that 3 of the items on the currently page are future focused. There's anticipating, wishing, and planning. And, I had not noticed that when I filled it out before. And so I love that there are those 3. And so I just wanted to ask for any of you to share, in particular, some future focused things. What are you wishing, anticipating, and planning? So I went and sat down and did mine, and I'll say I'm anticipating, we've decided to move, and we're going to move to Oregon, and that is pretty exciting. I've lived in Oregon before, but we're going to, my boyfriend and I have decided to move to just west of Portland, west, to Forest Grove. And that is a lovely community where he has a house. And so we're going to go and move there and rent my house out here, which is exciting. I'm wishing, I said it here on the page you can see online, which is I didn't have so much stuff to deal with, purging, selling, donated, etc. And that's what I would say is for real. Still, I just wish I didn't have so much to go through. And planning, it's still true today, a new fresh start. So that is exciting. So let's see. Looks like a lot of great wishes coming in. Planning everything, executing nothing. I'm so sorry, Tawny. Oh, I know how that feels. But you'll get some more done. You will. Okay, I'm going to move on to our next section. I want to keep mindful of the time. We're about a half an hour in, and we do have some kind of heavy lifting pieces to do next. I eased you into it with these. So I want to talk a little bit next about this courage activity that we're going to do. As I said, courage is a pretty big one for me all of a sudden. And I didn't really even know it, until I started working on these activities. So what I want you to do is turn to page 14 in your journal, your July journal. And if you don't have it yet, I want to be mindful of people that might have been invited or given the opportunity to come to this, but they haven't received their July journal. If that applies to you, please tell us in the notes, and we'll make sure between Katie and I to give you more insight about what we're doing. I'm sorry I didn't ask that earlier. I meant to, because I know that sometimes people come, right after they sign up. Maybe they get an email with an invitation, but then they just come, but they don't have their journal, or they don't have it with them, maybe, or something like that. So page 14 is the one that I'm on, and it's the one that's titled Wheel of Life. And I have done this exercise at other times in my life, and I'm going to turn to mine now so you can see it while I'm talking about it, because I put it into this slide deck for you. Some people have struggled with it, and this is not in any way meant to tell you this is the way to do it. It's just one view into how one person did it. And what I really want you to take away from it is the way that I'm going to pull through the items from the Wheel of Life into the next exercise and then into the weekly planner. Because for me, that's really where the meat of this journal and this planner comes to life, where it becomes a tool for my own accountability, my own prioritization, building and creating my best life the way that I envision it. So doing the activities makes that happen for me. It really works for me. So let's talk through this Wheel of Life a little bit. Hey, Denise, you're not alone, okay? I'm so glad this is good timing for you. Okay, so what we're trying to do here is put into each of the pie pieces, the wedges of this pie, a rating for our satisfaction with each of those areas of our lives. So I messed up on mine, as you can see. And once I went to label the wheel, it didn't, my word, I got number 10 and number 1 mixed up. So I hope that doesn't mess you up, but if it does, just do it the way I did it and relabel number 1 and number 10 and switch them, because that's what ended up happening for me. So anyway, I'm going to focus on number 2 because it's not messed up. So number 2, if you look on the, where it says financial, I wrote the word financial there. And then what I did was counting the lines of the wedge. There are 10 lines until you get to the word financial. And so I rated financial, my satisfaction with my financial situation is a 2 because I'm unemployed and I'm living off savings. And while I have enough savings to live off of, that's not cool, right? I don't want to spend all my money. So I want to have more income streams and diversify my financial situation so that I am, living the life I dream of. To put it succinctly. So that's where I put a 2. And so I filled in the first section and the second section of the wheel. And then number 3 is health. And I rated health 4 because I'm not dying, but I'm fat. And so I need to lose weight. And I'm probably at risk of diabetes. And I'm over 50 and postmenopausal and blah, blah, blah. So I have all these reasons to take better care of my body and to be around for the future date when I might have grandchildren and things like that. And also I'm young, so I want to party still. I just don't want to give up. So my health, I rated a 4. And so you can see then I filled in 1, 2, 3, 4 of those lines. And then you continue around the wheel and you choose those the numbers. You start at the top, actually, let me say it that way. You start at the top and you put the numbers next to each section, and then you transfer them over to the wheel and fill them in whatever way you want. I colored mine in because it's a powerful visual when you fill them in. So by filling those in, then I saw very clearly my lowest areas are adventure, financial, career, and family. So those become my theme items for my next section. I hope that you're following with me. I think that you're probably able to understand now what to do with the tool. So with that instruction, if you have more questions, please ask them in the chat, but I want to give us plenty of time for this. So this is not one to rush through. It's one to really give thought to. And if you have now already done it and you want to change it, then just draw it on another piece of paper. Just draw yourself a wheel and make it a pie, right? With 10 sections or whatever, and do your own again if you want. Whatever way you want to make it work for you. Oh, I see this question. What is your interpretation of home environment? My interpretation of it is when I open the front door, am I happy in this space? How do I feel about my home life? Energy, yeah, is it cluttered? Is it comfortable? All of that. That's what I think about home environment, because I could be living in a trailer in the desert and living off the land if that's what I wanted. And I could rate that a 10 if that's what I wanted for my home life. But if I want my home environment to be minimalist and clean and sort of mid-century modern, then I would look around and say, nope, you didn't get it there, Meg. It's really, you're not on track. And it's just too cluttered and all the things. So that's how I interpret it. Alrighty, I'm going to go give you some time to work on this one. And I hope you enjoy this process. It's a pretty good, powerful one, I think, to do. So good luck with it. Hey, you guys are doing great work. I just love seeing your comments, and it is a really powerful tool. Vanessa was saying that she saw in her wheel that she doesn't appear to be satisfied in any of the areas of her life, as satisfied as she'd like or as fulfilled. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but she implied that or said that the scores were lower across the board than maybe she anticipated. And it is really powerful to see that. And it for me also reveals that some of these areas are ones where I'm not only not very satisfied, but I'm also not doing anything about them, like adventure. I think of adventure as being sort of a core value for me. I have a little bumper sticker in my car that says adventure is a family value. And I really believe that. And I would say it's one of the ways that I get, life satisfaction and joy is by going on many adventures. And I just don't take the time to prioritize that sense of adventure as much as I prioritize things like getting things done and feeling satisfied, or with other areas, or building relationship strengths and those kinds of things. I neglect adventure, even though it's a core value for me, much more than financial strength is. I could die poor, I don't care, but I don't want to die having not lived a full life, so why don't I prioritize adventure more? And that's a really interesting thing. Hey, Alicia, I totally get that. COVID has been challenging, and health issues. I mean, my health keeps me from hiking and going out places where strenuous exercise is more challenging for me, because I had surgery, my shoulders are weak, my legs are weak from sitting around for a year, everything. I just need to get back on board. So I hear you. That is a good quote, Vanessa. The grave is not meant to arrive in a well-preserved body. I love it. Very good. So what we're going to take this to, I hope that you were able to get far enough with this exercise that you can use a couple of the examples in the next exercise. And so what I'd like you to do next is turn to page 17 in your July journal. And I would say this is probably, for me, is and was the most challenging page. And partly because it's the spaces are small to write in, and I wasn't sure how to write them. And I found myself definitely resisting doing it. Oh, sorry, let me get my pages advanced for you, because I do have mine for you to look at. So my first disclaimer is that I colored the other side, and I did a lot to it. And so all of my green stuff came through, right? My green and blue. And I really like a dirty journal. Like, I love a messy journal. So I kind of thought that looked cool until I tried to fill it out. And now I had to write all over the green and everything, but I kind of still think it looks cool. So anyway, we're looking at page 17 from the July journal. And this journal page says, courage exercise. Often fear and worry prevent us from moving towards our goals, but that's where the magic happens. And it's definitely true. This is all about courage, right? So where are the places in our lives where fear or worry or old stories that might not be true anymore are keeping us from making the progress that we would like? So the way that to do it, I'll first give you some instructions, and then I'll share some insights. So from an instruction perspective, the way that this is intended to be filled out is with section 1 first, life goal and brainstorming. So it's asking you to identify a life goal that you would like to work towards. So my encouragement to you is to use the last exercise, the Wheel of Life, which was just 2 pages back on page 14, and choose one of those areas that's lower for you, where you could set a goal to do something in one of these areas. So I did these out of order, but this is still my instruction to you. Even though I didn't circle health because it wasn't my absolute lowest areas, I went back and I filled those in later. So you can see that for me, what I did was one line under step 3, I did health. That was my first time I did this exercise. And then after I did the Wheel of Life, I was like, nope, Meg, you got to do what you're asking them to do. So I added career, family, financial, because those were areas of my wheel that were my lowest, and I wanted to hold myself accountable. But again, notice I did not put adventure on there. So I'm just, I just noticed it again. So isn't that interesting? I have to make a priority to explore adventure. So the way to do it is, it says step 2, fill out these sections to help bring you closer towards your life goal. You can fill this out in any order. And so, it's not, there's no rule here, but what I think you're supposed to do is line 1 aligns to one goal. If you were to start or stop doing these things that would support that goal, then the line 2 is maybe another goal or another set of actions, right? It's one entire set of actions that supports that goal. So for mine, as an example, I said, I want to get in shape so that I can live my best life longer. So I have to stop making excuses. I have to do less of sitting. I sit a lot, just doing my variety of crafts and arts and all the things I do them sitting. I have to keep doing walking daily, like long walks with my dog. I have to do more of exercising, moving, walking. I have to move more. I'm never going to get in shape and build muscles and build tone and build strength in my body without moving more. And I have to start weighing daily to hold myself accountable to the impact of my food in and my exercise as a counterbalance to my intake. So that's how I filled this out as a start, stop doing exercise. Now, I hope that you can see that there are some places here where there are opportunities to carry these start, stop, continue, do more, do less over to my goals in my weekly planner, because that's where this is going to go. So I want to give you some time to thoughtfully go through the process of choosing something from your wheel and transferring it to here. And then we're going to take the next step when we get into our weekly planner. I hope that you're following and that this is making sense. This is the meat of today, is to really pull these hard threads and to have the courage to just do the exercise, do the work, and see where you end up at the end of it. So I hope that you will go for it, and love to hear what you're discovering along the way. So I'll give you some more music and see where we go from here, okay? How did it go? Curious to know if this was challenging, if you came up with some new insights. Do you need more time? It's more important that it's helpful. Okay, thanks, Alicia. All right, let's give a little bit more time. I got the tunes lined up and ready to go. You're gonna love it. Okay. I know this has got to be your favorite because it's my favorite. Hey, I was just reading Caitlin's comment, relationships are my lowest. I'm trying to think about how to improve those. Other topics that are 8 are easier to brainstorm about. Yeah, the ones that you're doing well on, you probably already have a little bit of mindfulness about those. And maybe that's why they're higher, because you already put attention into them. The thing I did with family might help you with regard to relationships. And also, the next section that I'm going to do, I'll tell you a little bit more about how I transferred this portion into the next portion. And for family, I said, stop avoiding hard conversations. Maybe there's something for you in relationships where you can say, what is it about my relationships that is making me rate this low? And is there something I'm contributing to the problem? Is there a way that either I'm taking action or not taking action that is making them more strained or absent, or whatever that might look like for you, whatever it is that causes you to rate relationships lower. Do less of, I couldn't think of one for family. Maybe I would say multitasking when I'm with them. It's really hard because my son demands my absolute attention, and he's 18, he's not 3. And but he really is, his feelings get hurt if my eyes even dart away from him while he's talking to me. So I have to put down what I'm doing and really focus on him. And he's one of my priorities in my life. My 18-year-old son about to transition to college, and so it's really important to me to support him in this time and to build our relationship the best that I can, because he probably won't ever be home again as the same child that I sent off to college. So it's, I want to focus on that. And so then I had 2 lines for the do more of part, which is accept accepting new opportunities. No, that's not it. That's career. Sorry, reaching out to JAS too. That's my other son who moved. And so, staying in touch with him is important. And then start doing my weekly college check-ins myself, like check in online and make sure I'm doing the things I'm supposed to be doing as a parent of a child entering as a freshman. So I don't know if that helps you at all, but that's kind of how I took it. So I'm going to jump ahead now. We're at the top of the hour and we have about a half an hour left. So stick with me. The next portions, we're going to go a little more quickly through, kind of. Quick's not the right word, but we're going to do a number of things in succession through the weekly setup. So let me show you what I mean. And so we're talking about pages. The example that I'm going to show you is pages 32 and 33, but it could be any weekly setup that you have. You could be looking at, this week, if you haven't done it yet, you could jump ahead another week. It's absolutely fine to work ahead a week. It's kind of nice because then when you get there, it's kind of already done. And then you're like, oh, wow, well, look at that. You can make edits later, but what we're going to do then is go through the weekly planner, and here's mine I'm sharing with you. And again, remember that quote that's up at the top there where I said, wow, it takes a lot of courage to show your life to other people, or whatever it says. I can't read it on my screen right now. To show your dreams to someone else. So that's what I'm trying to do, is be courageous by really sharing how I use my journal. And I will say, in all honesty, that as I've said, I've been a member for about 9 months, but I did not do this to begin with. So this is definitely my more mature state of utilizing my journal, integral into my life. So we're going to go through these sections this week, but I want to show you how I did it and how I try to pull those threads through. So this week, I want to feel healthy in mind and body. My major 3 goals support that. My activity level should be up. My quality of food intake should be up. I didn't say less food. I tried to make it a positive. And then moving my life forward, taking actions to move my life forward. So I want that up. Those are my major goal areas. And then what I did was a little different with this weekly to-dos, because this is not a big enough space for the actual to-dos I have this week. I have a laundry list of to-dos, and this is not the place where I'm going to put them. I put them on a notes page, or even on the page of the day of the week. If you were to flip, ahead one page, I put them on the day of the week, but not here. So at least not now. I used to a little bit, but I just found it didn't work. So this time what I did was I said weekly focus areas, and here you see them. These are the items from my wheel of life: health, family, career, financial, and I put adventure in. Yay me. So I said health, my main focus areas are to do my nooming, because I joined and paid for that, and move. My family, I want to be present for them. My career, I need to do the things, which means respond to the consulting requests that I'm getting, push for the job description for the job they're creating for me, and do the things, get the things done. Financial, sell my crap and purge my crap. Adventure, variety is the spice of life. So then I'm going to apply that to all of these other areas. That's how I handle the weekly focus. All right, habit activities. Now I labeled them down the left. H, health. H, health. FA is family. C, career. FI, financial. A, adventure. But I will be honest, I think this is a lot. So if you end up with one thing as a habit or activity that you want to be tracking in this space, totally okay. Or if you don't even like this space and you want to repurpose it to something else, do it. Make it work for you. But this is just how I'm integrating this and trying to pull these things through to get that accountability from what did I say was important to me. I only put hugs for habit. Oh, Andrea, that is darling. I love it so much. I want to add it to mine, cross it all out, just hugs, big hearts. That's sweet. So this is the way I did it. And now we're going to jump ahead, and I'll talk through the other sections as we go, but I just wanted to give you this kind of high level visibility. Okay. So first section, I want to feel. I just went ahead and put a whole bunch of mine in here because I hear people kind of, I haven't heard a lot, but I've seen a little bit online where people are kind of not sure how to use this. So this is different ways I've done it. I want to feel connected, healthy, optimistic, strong, forward focused, bold, creative, pretty, different from last week, on top of my bleep, like a real person, excited for the future, right? This is how I've done it. And these are, I try to put things in here that are inspiring to me and that get me focused on the major 3 goals. Okay, so I want you to fill it out, and I'm just going to give you, I'm going to go through a couple of different songs and make it fun and light for you, I hope. And each time I flip ahead, I'll pause for a second. Please put your stuff in the chat, share, be lively there, and help everybody help get all these things done. Okay, here we go. So I've just jumped ahead to the next one, weekly major 3 goals, just to give you visibility to mine. There are all kinds of things that show up for me as my major areas, major 3 goals. Just giving you some visibility, showing you what's in mine, if it helps you to think about yours a little differently. I hope it's helpful. going into this weekly to-do section, and honestly, I just couldn't figure out how to edit this slide well enough to get more examples on here. So I gave up and I just put one on here to show you how I had done a weekly to-do at one time where I had a list of things. But you could see, I don't know if you can tell, but for me, it just didn't work with, I have too many things to put on my to-do list to be able to put them all in that one, but would love to see what you guys put in this section. If not, you know, a list of weekly to-dos, what do you do with it? All right, how about this next section where we get into the habits and activities? And I put a couple of habit and activities examples in here to show you that I hope are kind of liberating for you from a standpoint of there were some months when I first started journaling that I really was depressed and I was having a really hard time doing anything. And so I wanted you to see some variety. Early on, my habits and activities were getting up and getting dressed, showering and brushing my teeth. That was the level of what I could commit to. Then that's over on the right there on the top. And then on the left was getting up by 9 a.m., getting some exercise, doing some art, checking in with my kids one-on-one. That was pretty low targets, but it was what I was up to. I had a part where I had surgery and I had to do PT all the days I was supposed to. I wanted to challenge myself intellectually and do something creative. I was really searching for things that had meaning to me. And then you see on the lower left, this was one where I was very specific and I wanted to be very specific just to see if I could complete more of them and how it would make me feel. And so I really went into detail on the number of times I was doing my stretching and the number of times I was doing my strengthening. And I used lines in the bubbles to have a way to track them. So I'll be honest, this section is one I often forget to go back to, and I don't check all the boxes off, but I do kind of like that I have them there. And as I showed you when I first showed this spread for this coming week that I filled out, I did these very intentionally using those target focus areas, and I'm experimenting to see how that works for me. Yeah, so that's each month it changes a little bit and I get a little bit better at using it, you know, intentionally and getting out of it what I want. So how are you guys tracking with this? Are you working alongside or are you just following along? How is this working in terms of helping you to actually complete these sections of your weekly planner? I'd love to hear some feedback about how, from a facilitation perspective, is this method of showing these examples and talking through it a little bit helping you to actually complete the sections of the journal, or how is it, or is it not? Love to have some feedback. Oh, good, Kathy. Great. Okay, Eden, wonderful. Thank you. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Andrea. Wonderful. Oh, that's so great. Thank you. I just needed to know. So I'm on the right track with helping you with these. Okay. I'm going to keep going a little bit then. I don't want us to run out of time. So this is the next one, which is the meal plan area. And I know lots of people use it differently. In that first example that I gave to you, I wrote out like actually the meal plan from Noom. I actually wrote in the breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks and additions, and then what I could swap out. I used up the whole section of this portion with sort of this meal plan concept rather than every day. These are two more examples here. The one where I said for reals, I was saying to myself, be honest about what you're actually eating, Meg. Don't put in there what you think you're going to eat. Don't put in there half of what you ate, like I did on the left, but actually put in there what you ate. So I started doing that and I did it for a few days and I think I continued, but it was kind of good for me to know how much junk I was eating and to see it really there on the page. So it's tough. It's tough. So this is how I use this portion, and I've seen lots of creative uses for it. Now this mind body health plan, again, a lot of people repurpose it. They just do something different with it. Here's 3 ways that I've used it. I often have this thing where I say move more and eat less. That's often my mind body health plan. I don't think it's really working right now for me to put this in here. I think I need to be more specific. But anyway, the next one here, you can see it there, get up and move. At least I'm consistent, right? I said, then what will it take for me to build exercise into my daily habits? And so I was like, why won't I do more of it? Here are the things I like. I like for it to be fun. I need music. It should feel good. I need to see results. I will begin to crave it, do it when I don't want to, really trying to motivate myself. So these are some ways to do that. Love reading what you guys have done. Someone said a meal planner using as a to-do or task list because you use MyFitnessPal. Yeah, for sure. Really repurposing is where it's at. I repurpose often in the month, and I encourage you to as well. In fact, in this coming month, I have under my mind body health plan, what is my purging filter? What is it that I am using as my filter for choosing what I keep and don't keep in my life? Because I'm packing and thinking about moving. So I have, would I live on a boat with it? I'm not moving to a boat, but it's a good filter for getting rid of stuff. Would I move it to Europe? Again, it's a good filter. Do my kids want it? Is it time to have value to me? Oh, the whole concept of it only has value to the person who sells it, because I tend to hold on to things because they have perceived value, but they're only valuable when I sell them. Otherwise, I'm just giving them to someone else to, experience the value of that thing. So why not just flip and sell it? And then I get the value of it instead of, and that supports my financial goals. So it's this thinking and connecting the dots that helps me get through and get closer to achieving those goals. Yeah, your mom's right, Vanessa. Well, and then there's also Marie Kondo, and there's, is it beautiful or useful? Those are good filters as well. So those last part is the shopping list. I've used it some months as a literal shopping list for whatever reason. I'm sitting there thinking about what I want to eat and what's on my food plan, and these are the things I need to buy. And then also I've gone over to, once I did this thing where I said relationships, and I just totally crossed out the shopping list. And I said, for each person that's most important in my life, what is it I want to do? I can't remember now who was talking about relationships earlier, but this is one approach. I was feeling like I wasn't giving my attention to my important relationships. And I really thought, and I put myself on the list. So that I learned from Silk and Sonder for sure. Yeah. Thanks, Melene. What a pretty name too. I didn't see your name before, but I love hearing that you like that. Would I move it to Europe? So this is the way I've used that shopping list in different ways, and curious if others have used it in other ways as well. keep telling us, because everybody just loves examples, you know. Now this part at the bottom, a great food, memory, music, song, sometimes I use it for that, right? I write something down that jumped. I mean, you can see on this big one where I have food, vegetable beef soup, and memory and song. Those were all written down at different times. And you know, they were the actual thing. I was trying to fill it out as I went. One time I put a big sticker there. This month I just put an ampersand over it, just leaving it blank for some time during the week that I might want to add something to it. You know, I did this bonding with my boyfriend goals. These are his primary love languages. So what, now obviously I kind of failed with that one because I didn't fill it out, but you know, you do what you can. I showed him this tonight and he said, oh, honey, you always do those things. So I was like, whoa. But it just gives you different ways, right? And then great cooking. And then I was like, oh, screw the memory. It's all about the cooking. So bon appetit, you know, just using it to have fun with it and not beat myself up for not completing the sections, because that does not bring me joy. I don't want to feel guilty about my journal. There's enough things that I feel guilty about in the world. That should not be one of them. So what I'd love is if you would share your weekly planners, you know, after you fill them out and you've gone through some of these exercises, the way that we talked about them, or however you like, start sharing them, especially hashtag Sonder Social. You know, if you're on the apps, you can see people are really starting to talk about going to the different events and the work that they've done at those events. And one, I would love for my peers to see that you learned from my event. So selfishly, I just want them to know that mine was cool too. And second of all, I really would love to actually see the outcome of the evening's work together. It would be so rewarding to me. So I guess that, again, that's a little bit selfish, but I would love to know that it worked for you. So if you would share, it would be super helpful. And you can do that on the apps, or you can do it on Facebook. Although we're really trying to migrate over to the apps at this point. And you can also, of course, hashtag and post on Instagram. So that's another option. I want to thank you for joining us. Please don't hang up yet, because I got two last things for you. So most important thing is we'd really like your feedback. As I've said before, it's important to us to continually iterate these events so that we can meet your needs as a community and help you to use the journal and get the most out of it. And so please give that feedback and include your comments about what you enjoyed and what you wish I had done differently for this event. That kind of feedback really helps me to continue to improve. So I'd love to see that as well. And then here is the QR to take the survey, to give that feedback. I guess the other one was for the Sonder app. Oh yeah, so sorry about the confusion there, but here's the link to the survey to fill out. So I'd love to have that. And if you want to just take the last couple of minutes to continue to chat and talk about your experience, or what you ask any questions that you have, we do have a few minutes, and I'm going to put on a last tune that is my favorite to end the evening with. And I just want to say thank you so much again for the honor of leading you in an experience that might have been challenging and or motivating and enjoyable, or however, I hope it was enjoyable. I just really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. So thank you for that. And I hope to see you online. And here we go.
May you have auspiciousness and causes of success. May you have the confidence to always do your best. May it take no effort in your being generous, sharing what you can, nothing more, nothing less. May you know the meaning of the word happiness. May you always lead from the beating in your chest. May you be treated like an esteemed guest. May you get to rest, may you catch your breath. May the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Whoa. May the road less paved be the road that you follow. Oh. Well, here's to the hearts that you're gonna break. Here's to the lives that you're gonna change. possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we gonna have. You don't need money, you got a free pass. Here's to the fact that I'll be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. May you be as fascinating as a slap bracelet. May you keep the chaos and the clutter off your desk. May you have unquestionable health and less stress. Having no possessions, though immeasurable wealth. May you get a gold star on your next test. May your educated guesses always be correct. And may you win prizes shining like diamonds. May you really own it each moment to the next. Or may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Whoa. Or may the road less paved be the road that you follow. Whoa. Well, here's to the hearts that you gonna break. Here's to the lives that you gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we gonna have. You don't need money, you got a free pass. Here's to the fact that I'll be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. Oh, I want you to have it all. All you can imagine. Oh, no matter what your path is, if you believe it, then anything can happen. Go, go, go. Raise your glasses. Go, go, go. You can have it all. I toast you. Here's to the hearts that you gonna break. Here's to the lives that you gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we gonna have. You don't need money, you got a free pass. Here's to the fact that I'll be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we gonna have. Here's to you always making me laugh. Here's to the fact that I'd be sad without you. I want you to have it all.
Who can turn the world on with a smile? Who can take a nothing day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile? Well, it's you, girl, and you should know it. With each glance and every little movement you show it. Love is all around, no need to waste it. You can have the time, why don't you take it? You're gonna make it after all. You're gonna make it after all. How will you make it on your own? This world is awfully big. Girl, this time you're all alone. But it's time you started living. It's time you let someone else do some giving. Love is all around, no need to waste it. You can have the time, why don't you take it? You're gonna make it after all.